Hey everybody! I am Genuinely Jade, and this is Jade Knows, sort of. I know some things and some things I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's have fun. Okay, y'all. So I've been single for quite some time now, and I don't actually mind it because honestly, if anything, social media has shown me why I'm single and why I'm probably better off. Okay, so today we are going to be reacting to some first date or worst date horror stories. Let's get into it.
I did not think I was gonna tell this story in a long time. I thought I was gonna wait till I move out, but let's just get into a story about how I got cussed out. This is the worst date I've ever been on, by the way. All right, we're gonna prime our face. Love this e.l.f. putty primer. Where do I begin? This man lived in my apartments.
Oh, hell no.
No. We not dating men that live in our apartments unless we know we about to marry him, because when I say it can get weird and awkward, you gotta see him still, like, or he could be on some creepy stuff and trying to, you know, sneak into your apartment and smell your panties, like
And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's really cute. Or I thought he was when I first saw him, because later on it was a different story. But then I decided to.
That happens. Like you look at somebody far away, you see him, but then you get up on them and you're like, oh.
Overshare on my Snapchat and say like, oh, I have a cute neighbor. Just talking to my Snapchat like they're my best friends. So eventually he talks to me, and then one day he ends up asking for my number. I give him my number. He's like, let's go to dinner on this day. Tell me why. That either that same night or the next day, I am going into the elevator. I see this man in the elevator with another girl. Very awkward. Like when he saw me, he looked very awkward. She looked very awkward. Didn't even assume that that could be his girlfriend.
Hey, I don't know if I like that. So he just asked you out on a date and he's already got another chick on the elevator. Like, who is this person? But also, you can't assume that, you know, that's a girl that he's, you know, intimate with or he's romantically with. It could be a cousin, a sister, or nothing. So you don't want to jump the gun. So, okay.
Because it just was not giving girlfriend, like at all. It was giving literally we're just meeting today for the first time. But later on that night he texts me. He's like, I'm sorry, like that was so awkward, honestly. Like,
okay, so he admits that wasn't a relative. That wasn't a relative or a friend. Okay. So that's the second red flag. The first one, y'all, was talking to somebody that live in your apartment complex. That's right up there with talking to somebody that you work with. Just don't do it. I know for sure. Don't do that.
and that should have been where I was like, all right, well, I don't want you. The new and improved me, that's how I would have been. But I don't know what it was. I decided to give him another chance. I was just thinking these men be getting lonely. Whatever, maybe it's like a one-time type of thing. Like, I don't know, right? To be honest with you, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, now looking back, I just still question myself. Going in with my favorite powder, the Huda Beauty one. Day of our dates comes around. This man did not text me. It was already like 11 or 12, and I go downstairs. Why do I see him sitting down? It's very awkward. He's very awkward towards me.
So this is a date that he planned, and it's the day of the date. He doesn't say anything. Whew. Littered with red flags. The day of, just say, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Just seeing if we're still on for, you know, the date at 7 at whatever. Like something. Like
me, and I'm just like he looks like he saw a ghost. And I'm like, what do I do at this point? I go on my Snapchat story and I go on a rant about what just happened? Like 10 minutes later, he texts me and he's like, I'm sorry about right now. Like, sorry, it was weird. Like, are we still on for tonight, basically? So I told him, like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to cancel. So tell me why. Later in the day, he texts me like, hey, like, you know, I don't want it to be awkward when we see each other. I'm so sorry. I really wanted to take you out. He made an excuse about work, blah, 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 blah. Y ahí voy yo de pendeja. Ahí voy yo de pendeja.
And I'm like,
okay,
hey,
Spanish.
which is fine. I ended up giving him another chance. Which girl?
Why do we do this to ourselves? We give them another chance. They have clearly shown us how interested they are in the date, which is 0. And we still, we're not doing anything. Fuck it. Like, we gotta stop doing that. No. If he's showing you how he is, that's how he is, babe.
He was an average guy. Like, he was, for me to be doing all this, like giving him all these chances. So the day comes. I'm so sorry to do this to you, but go to part 2. It's already.
Okay, so we're gonna go to part 2. Her makeup was really cute. But what? It's like I said, like if he's already fumbling this hard and y'all haven't even gone on a date yet, girl, don't waste your time like that. Don't do that.
So this is the time I got cussed out by my neighbor that I went on a date with. He drives us to the place, the restaurant he chose. He didn't even make a reservation.
Another red flag. You have planned this date. I feel like her timeline is going on a couple of weeks, a day, or something. Some days. It's enough time to make a reservation. Like, yo, these guys just be out here. Not you plan the date. I say yes, and nothing. We just show up. What? You pick the place and you just show up. Okay. Are we in high school? I feel like we used to do that shit in high school. We're not in high. Okay.
Get there and they're like, oh, it's gonna be an hour wait.
Yeah, you think you don't have a reservation.
And he ends up saying like, oh, okay, like I know this other place. We can go there. I've heard good things about it. I've never been there, but I've heard good things. I'm like, all right, let's go. We go. We're talking. When somebody's like lying or somebody's...
Well, at least she liked the place. So that's a green flag and lost in all of the red flags. But okay.
Just not being themselves, I can easily pick up on that weird vibe about him. So eventually he asked me about where do I see myself in like 5 years, 10 years from now. And I'm like, honestly, like, you know.
Oh, not an interview question. That's an interview question. That's a job interview question. I guess this is what a date is, kind of. You kind of want to feel people out, break the ice.
No, I just see myself being happy, like raising a family, having children.
You see that in 5 years? Oh, good for you.
This and that. And then he's like, oh, but like, what about career-wise? I'm like, sir, is this a job interview?
That's exactly what I said. I said it's giving. Yeah, we're interviewing for a job.
I'm just like, oh, honestly, I don't know where I see myself in terms of my career at that time because I do want to be able to raise my children.
Right.
I want to be
stay at home. Yeah. Okay.
Have children, which
That's fair.
is not something crazy to ask. When I have kids, I would love to be able to be with them and raise them. He just started crazily agreeing. And he was like, yeah, like, honestly, with my ex-girlfriend, I feel like it really tore us apart that she was working so much. Like, I really just wanted to take care of her.
Okay, never bring up the ex on the first date. What are we doing? Don't do that. Do that. When I say, if you want to kill the vibe, bring up your ex and why it didn't work out. Don't bring it up and don't ask. Do not ask about somebody's ex on the first date. Don't do that. Like, hey, why are you single? Oh, such and such. Oh, so your ex? No, don't do that. When I say that kills the vibe and the buzz, don't bring up the ex. They're not with them for a reason. Why would you bring that up on the first date?
And I was like, oh, wow, like, that's crazy. But everything felt so fake. And then he drops the bomb on me that he has a kid. I am not looking to date somebody that has a kid. I'm super young, so...
Oh my God, you for real?
Okay, first of all, what the is super young? Are you in high school? People have kids. It's fine. You're not trying to marry this dude. You're just on a date. Calm down.
To date someone that already starts talking about how about his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or whatever, and their son a house, and it's like a huge house, like $1 million house. I don't care about you bragging about your money unless you're spending it on me. And I could tell.
I understand that. Like, don't brag about it if you ain't trying to spend it. You doing all this bragging, are you gonna spend some? If you ain't spending it on me, I don't want to hear about it. Period.
He was lying. Like, I know damn well you're lying. We'd probably be living in a super bougie apartment if that was all true. Nothing was adding up. Later into the date, he tells me that that place that we were at, he's like, oh yeah, I took my ex-girlfriend here on a...
Bringing up the ex. He clearly not over it. He's not over the ex. That's the second time he brought up his ex.
I'm like... Didn't you just say that this was your first time here a little while ago? The whole time I was just waiting.
So now he's like, it's little itty bitty white lies that's just coming to fruition. Like, why are you lying in this first date? Like, that's a turn off, guys. Don't lie on the first date. Don't be somebody that you're not on the first date. That's a horrible foundation to start on. Don't do that. Don't do that.
On the check to come, like, please come faster because I can't do it. And I forgot to mention, when he told me that he has a kid, I told him straight up, you know, like, we can definitely be friends, but I'm just not looking to date.
And that's fair. Some people want a clean slate. They don't want to be with somebody with kids. That's fair. He definitely should have mentioned that shit, though, before taking her out on a date, but whatever.
Like, why it was a good idea. But when the check comes, I normally don't go and like rush to take out my card, but that's what I did this time because I straight up told him, like, I just want to be friends, so I'm not gonna expect him to pay. So I tried to pay it.
Okay, that's fair. She said she basically realized where this was going, which was nowhere. After he told her about her kid, she wasn't interested anymore. She vocalized that she was fully willing to pay her own bill. That's fine. I like when that's a mature thing to do.
To pay, and he's like, no, like, you're fine. And I'm just like, okay, well, thank you. And then when we're on our way back to the apartments, all like trying to touch my leg, and I'm just
oh shit.
Oh no. After we established this is not going anywhere, you're touching me. Guys, y'all gotta know how to read the room. This ain't it. This was not the tea. That was not the green light, the go ahead. She said she's not interested. Do not touch her. Don't touch her leg. Don't touch anywhere. Don't touch her arm. Don't even look at her.
it's like, oh no, like his hand off my leg. By this point, the vibe is very weird. I think we both know we are not feeling each other. So he drops me off. He ends up saying that he's gonna go like do something, and then I literally see him pull up right afterwards while I was waiting on the elevator. I'm like, and then I post on my story when I get home, I'm like, you guys, the date like was really bad. He was just lying about a bunch of things. I get a text message right afterwards. Guess what? He messages me, what was I lying about? And at this point, I really am like, I should have known. I did think.
To be fair, you can kind of read the room. You kind of know when a guy is just bragging about shit that he either doesn't have or he had at some point, but he doesn't have now, or that he never had because he's trying to impress you. And with that being said, we can kind of tell, but to be fair, she doesn't actually have proof that he was lying. So...
It did cross my mind that he was watching my Snapchat stories, but I was just like, no, it must be a coincidence. Whenever he texts me, like, it must be a coincidence. There's no way. I don't know what happened here, but anyways, he texts me that, and I'm like, why are you watching my stories? And then he's like, of course, like, I'm gonna watch your stories. Like, why are you telling people my business? And he's like, I can't believe you would mischaracterize a date like that. Like, you didn't catch me in any lies. Like, what are you talking about? And I tell him, like, leave me alone. Don't ever talk to me again. He sent me a bunch of messages. He's like, you want a provider? Like, you're this.
Okay. After a okay date, y'all established that this is not going anywhere. She's not interested, clearly. She can do whatever she wants to on her page, on her Instagram, on her TikTok, on her Snap. She didn't mention your name. She didn't say where you live. She didn't, disclose any of your personal information. She can talk about how her date was. This is what she felt. You don't go on to text her and now you're trying to argue. No, there's no argument. We went on a date. It was bad. The end is over. I'm telling my people, I'm talking to the people on social media about it. The end. You can't take that personal. Just move on. They don't know who you are. Just move the fuck on. Like, move around.
It's like, you're that. And then I blocked him. And then right after that, he messages me from a different number. And he's...
Now we making up numbers because she blocked you. Like, crazy. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly why I said, do not talk to people that live in your building. Don't do it, babe. Now, you done made an enemy that you didn't even know. You didn't even know you made an enemy.
Like, you're a gold digger, this and that. Like, I can't believe I wasted money on our date. And I was like, I didn't know you were struggling financially. I will send you my half of the bill if you leave me alone. And
now she tried to pay. Now all of a sudden she's a gold digger. She tried to pay. You said, no. I got it. I think at that point you thought she was getting something. That's why you touched her leg in the car. Ugh.
stop talking to me. And so that is what I did. And he tried to make me send him for the full amount. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. By the way, before I blocked him, he called me a bitch on the other one. And then I told him that.
Of course you're a bitch now. You're a bitch now that I thought the date was whack. And I'm talking about it. So now I'm a bitch now. But you paid my half that I agreed to pay myself. You paid for it. And now you want the full amount back, sir? No, ma'am. No, sir.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
We're not doing that. We're not.
Sent him my part of the bill. And then he kept messaging me, telling me I'm a gold digger, this and that. And literally...
Oh, yeah, he's mad. He's mad. This is what I mean. Like, guys, y'all gotta learn how to take rejection and move on. This is sad. This is sad. She doesn't like you. So now you feel like if somebody happens to know, which they don't, happens to know who you are, you're going to make up for it by trashing her and dragging her name. Like, stop doing that shit. That's lame. You're a lame. Stop doing that.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Lying about things that happened on our date. And then the cherry on top, he calls me a cunt. And that's it. Now he avoids me at all costs in our apartments. Also, I do want to take accountability. I feel like I could have avoided this whole situation if I listened to myself and if I stood firm on my boundaries and my standards instead of just giving him all these chances. But you know what? I definitely learned my lesson from...
Not to see you in tea. You know that was a white man. Like, y'all be throwing that C word out. We don't care about that. Like,
We do not care.
that's not offensive to me. At least to me. I don't. But now she's this and that. But look, now she's talking about he avoids her. Bitch, he's stalking you. You need to, I feel like you need to pay attention and get a Ring camera. Because I for sure guarantee you he is outside your door every day. Or lurking around the corner seeing what you're doing. He's plotting, girl. Get the strap. Get your taser, pepper spray. He is not going to let this go. He sees you every day. He sees you all the time. He knows you're still there. And, you know, God forbid, he don't let it go. But, girl, this is why you don't do this. Because now he was a weirdo on a date. And he was a weirdo before the date. And you gave him a chance. And now he's going to be a weirdo afterwards. Like, ladies, I'm telling you, it never works out. It never works out when you talk to a dude at your job or where you live. Like, don't do that, y'all. It's too many of them out here to be... Don't do that. Let me know if y'all want to see more content like this. Let me know which one was the worst date. And if you do like this content from me, please like, share, and subscribe. And also comment. Like I said, the engagement is what the algorithm is looking for. Okay? Again, thank y'all for watching. Until next time, bye.